Okay,
Hi.
who are you?
I'm Patricia Cambridge,
Okay, and what's the name of your company?
and my company's name is Playthink.
And what happened here tonight?
Okay, so we listened to Howard Morgan talk at the most recent startup grind.
Right.
And he told us.
And Howard is a partner at First Round Capital and is an early stage investor, which is a rare commodity in Ontario. He's based in Philadelphia, and so what do we do over here? We're talking about.
Yeah. So the question was asked of him, why do you love startups? And he gave two clear examples. One
Right.
Waywire and one Fab.
So they're at a great stage in the fund. Their existing fund, I think it's their fourth. It's a $135 million fund that closed in April, and they just did a company called Waywire out of that, which is kind of trying to improve the level of dialogue in the United States around social issues. And one of the key players there is the mayor of New Jersey, and he also talked about Fab. In fact, he talked about 5 different companies that raised over $150 million or some number over the last 2 weeks that he's involved in. But Fab was a great pivot story where they started out being a social network for gay men, and then they pivoted and moved into doing sort of high fashion and high style lifestyle living. So he talked about the importance of the ability to pivot. We also get focused on his life journey. So he was one of the when he was going to study physics, and somebody said, why would you do that? You should be doing computers. And he mentioned the graduate and plastics. So that was somebody that set him off there. He taught University of Pennsylvania to begin with. Went to Harvard Business School. Then somebody asked him if he would like to, work as placing money in startups. So he began as early as 1982 doing that, and then he's been doing that for over 30 years, which is kind of incredible. First Round has been now, I think, around since 2004. He was a lead investor in Idea Lab, which Bill Gross's Idea Lab, still on the board. They've turned out over 100 companies. We could have talked for 2 hours about that right there. He talked a little bit about their keys to success. They'll do companies that have a prototype, a team. If they're consumer facing, they should have some traction. Actually going back to the computers and plastics, he said if he was giving that advice today to somebody, he'd say big data and genomics. But they're right now looking for deals in social media and social networks. They're doing e-commerce deals. If the company doesn't have a mobile strategy, then he's probably not interested. Key to their success, they quantify, right? And they are actually keep track of how their partners vote, and they've done mortems. They've studied that, so they actually know their own bias. So that's pretty incredible, I think. And they stick to what they know, so they have their various subject matter expertise, and then they look for a proof of concept locally that can be rolled out more internationally. They don't invest in competition. They've got like 150 different companies in their portfolio, and they don't invest in direct competitors. He talked about sort of his 6 Ps. So the typical Ps of the marketing mix: plan, people, product, and then he really focused on sort of the extra 2 Ps that he mentioned, or that he's added to the mix, which are passion and persistence. Talked a little bit about companies he's passed on, like YouTube, companies that gave back his money, like Odeo, companies that he didn't go in, like Twitter, and there's a relationship there. It's the same founder, right? We talked a little bit about the emergence of the New York tech scene and what has been key to that, and I think his point there was that it wasn't due to government, it wasn't due to any other incentives. It was really due to the fact that there were great exits, and that led to a whole bunch of angels being available in the marketplace, and because people had earned money, they were prepared to give it a go again. He talked a little bit. He does look for deals. He actually uses angel lists more to fill out a deal or to syndicate a deal after they've made a decision. He really talked about, what is common, and I think this is a great point that Peter made earlier, what is common between his early life as an academic and his success as a VC is really nurturing young talent. And, really planting the seed with them that they, in a startup sense, they need to be looking 3 years out and doing what is right 3 years out. And if he was speaking to young students today, he'd be using a little bit longer horizon, like a 5 to 10 year horizon when they're starting their academic journey. So I thought that was a really interesting connection in terms of his life journey, but also in terms of, what is key to his success. Am I missing anything?
I think you got it.
All right. Well, that was super recap and a great dimension, and thank you for doing that
Thank
for
you,
us tonight.
Michael.
Cheers, Patricia.